All right, let's talk sacrum. So a little bit easier than carting the skeleton around. Remember I told you that was where the nerves came out? So there's that arch that I was talking about on the side, that intervertebral arch, and here are the nerves coming out from between. Okay, so let's go with the sacrum. So lumbar vertebra, this is the sacrum, and this is the coccyx. And from the front, that's the sacrum, and that down there is the coccyx. Okay? So the sacrum, when we are born, isn't quite fused yet. It's one of the reasons why babies can kind of bundle themselves up so small and kind of curl in on themselves. But as we start to grow and as we start to put weight down, as we start to walk, our spinal cord actually does, our vertebral column actually does start to shape, and the sacrum actually does start to fuse. So looking at the sacrum, this is the anterior view, this is the posterior view. So anterior view, looking at it from the front like you're looking this direction. Posterior view, like you're looking at somebody's rear end. Okay? So anterior view. See this kind of small butterfly wing? This is the ala. Okay? This thing that sticks up here is this sacral promontory. See how it sticks up? Okay, so that's what that is. And these little butterfly wings here, these are the ala, okay? The anterior sacral foramina. Foramina holes, right? So again, this is the front. This is the front. See the little holes? Okay, and that's where the nerves are going to move into your pelvic area. Excuse me. The transverse lines, remember, trans means across, right? So again, if you look, you can see those lines going across. This is where they fuse together, okay? And then finally at the bottom, you have the coccyx, which is best seen here. This will do down here. This is the coccyx. This is the vestigial tailbone that we have. In other words, probably thousands, millions of years ago, we may have had some type of tail, but we don't anymore. Now, this is the posterior view. So again, like you're looking at somebody's rear end, okay? All right. So you can still see the ala from the back. You can still see, you can still see the butterfly wings from the back, okay? You can also see the articular facets, which are these things right here. Okay, let's see. The median sacral crest. So what's a crest? Think mohawk. See that right there? That's going to be the crest. And it's in the middle, so it's median. And it's on the sacrum, sacral, crest, mohawk. The posterior sacral foramina. These are these holes in the back here. Okay, and again, you can see them right here where those nerves are coming out. Okay, coccyx from the back. All right. Got that. Oh, the canal. So unfortunately, the way that this model is put together, they don't have the canal dead center in the middle here. Actually, they do, right there. Okay, so that's the canal. And again, if you look, you can actually see that spinal cord going into that hole. Okay. I'm missing something. I know I'm missing something. The articular, okay. So the surface that actually articulates with your hip bone, see how they're connected right there? That would be this right here on the sides. This is where the two hip bones come in and attach to this. Okay, so that's the sacrum. Now let's talk about the rib cage. Need the skeleton back. So here's your rib cage, okay? Your rib cage is kind of interesting because it's made out of multiple bones, all right? So you have your sternum, which is this flat bone right here. You've got this costal cartilage that actually connects to the rib bones. Now, you have several ribs that are considered true ribs because of how they connect to the sternum. For example, this rib connects to this cartilage and then connects directly to the sternum. The thing is, you have some other ribs down here, okay, that don't do that. So, false ribs. They have cartilage that connects to the cartilage of one of the ribs. They don't actually go all the way up here. You can see that well right here. Okay, you can see these three ribs are connecting to this costal cartilage. Okay, these three ribs are connecting to this costal cartilage, but not actually up to the sternum. Mirror image, it's pain. You also have some false ribs called floating ribs. See these guys back here? They're not connected to anything. So that piece of cartilage that has everybody else kind of connected together, these guys don't have that. These guys are part of what cover part of our kidney that's back here. Of course, it doesn't completely cover it, but it covers it somewhat. So again, looking at the pretty picture, you've got the costal cartilage, you've got the true ribs, then you've got these three ribs down here that are false, that connect to this cartilage, not directly to here. Then you've got these two floating ribs. So let's talk about the sternum. So here's costal cartilage, here's the sternum, okay? So the sternum actually has three parts to it. The manubrium, which is at the top, the body, which is this flat part, and then the xiphoid process, which is down here. So, see the square at the top? That's the manubrium. This is the body, and this is the xiphoid or xiphoid process, depends on where you learned it. The sternal angle, there's a really big line right here, and do you see how it kind of makes a speed bump? That is the sternal angle, okay? Let's see, went through costal cartilage. All right. Now, just because it's on the picture, I'm gonna point this out too. We're gonna go through it in another slide, but just in case. So here's my rib cage, right? This is the clavicle. This bone is actually kind of hooked onto the manubrium of the sternum and then connects to the scapula back here. But we'll talk about that in just a bit. Okay, now let's talk about an individual rib. So here is one rib, and you will notice that the ends look very different. This one looks kind of lumpy and bumpy, and this one looks very, very smooth. The smooth end is the one that is going to go to the costal cartilage. This is the end that actually has to attach to your vertebra to articulate. There we go. Okay, so flat end. Okay, that's the sternal end. Okay, the other end, which you can see over here, is going to be the vertebral end. Okay, you've got that sternal end coming back This is the body. So this big flat portion here is the body. And then it turns. See that turn right there? That's going to be the angle, okay? Where that turn happens is going to be the angle. Now looking over here, I've got the head, the neck, and the cervical, okay? So I have the head, the neck, and the cervical, this thing that's sticking out. Head, neck, cervical, okay? So that's an individual rib and the parts of an individual rib as opposed to just the rib cage. Okay, so I'm gonna get the arm bones now.